with MongoDB Compass connected. Compose.yaml. Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to Think Constructive. I am Esha. In this session, I will be telling you how to connect MongoDB Compass with the MongoDB running at your local machine as well as the MongoDB image which is up and running in the Docker container. I was getting a couple of questions in my last session, the project which I did with Spring Boot and MongoDB, that how to connect MongoDB Docker image with MongoDB Compass. So I thought of bringing this session in front of you. And just in case if you haven't yet watched that session, go ahead, watch that, because that project is going to be very, very useful for all of you. Going forward, we are going to expand that project also. Alright, so stay connected. Watch the session till the end so that you are not going to miss upon on any of the core concepts. So let us quickly get started. First step, we will download and install MongoDB at our local machine. Alright, how do we do that? We will just say download MongoDB. Okay. So we'll hit the first link, MongoDB community server download. Okay. So there are two mechanisms to download this. One is brew installed and another one is to download the package. And you can notice it is suggesting me the platform as Mac OS because my machine is Mac machine. So it is suggesting me that. So it's intelligent enough to do that. Otherwise you can select whichever operating system you would want from the drop down here. Alright. So currently I will proceed with the Mac OS and with the second method of installation. So package tgz, that is the default one it is suggesting, and I will hit download. The moment I will say download, it will download this tgz file at my machine. So you can see MongoDB macOS ARM64 8.0.4.tgz. So I can simply extract this here and will bring up and show you. Okay. So we'll just extract it. So here is the extracted folder. Let us go inside and see what all we are getting. We are getting some readmes, license, all those information. So main thing is, let us go inside bin folder and we are getting three things here: install Compass, MongoD and MongoS. Okay. So from here, I will bring up this process called MongoD. Okay. What is MongoD? It is a primary daemon process for MongoDB system, and it handles MongoDB data request. It manages the data access and performs background management operations. Okay, so basically this is the core process of MongoDB. Okay, so let us bring up this MongoD process. Okay, and let us see what happens. So I have opened the terminal window. From here I'll bring up the MongoD process. Okay, so let me go inside the folder where we have downloaded Mongo. Okay, let me see what is here. So let us change the directory and all right. Okay, let me just maximize it a little. So here inside this, let us go inside bin and inside this we can see all three files. I will just do ls-lrt to get more clarity. So this is the MongoD process which we want to bring up. Alright, so let me just clear the screen. Now again do ls here. Okay, and now what will I do? I will bring up my MongoD process. Okay, so what do? I will just say MongoD. Okay, and since it's a data management process, it will handle all the data requests. So it should know where the data exists or where it should create the data. So for that, what do? I will just say --db path, and here I should mention the database path. Okay. So what do? I will just create the database path here. Okay. So I will first explain you where I am going to create my database for MongoDB, because that path explicitly I need to mention. Okay. So I will come out from bin and this MongoDB folder, and here I will create a database MongoDB folder. This name essentially you can give any name. Okay, and this is the path I am going to use for creating my database. Okay, so now here what do? I will just say first of all let us see where are we. Okay, here in my MongoDB process is available. So what do? I will just say MongoD, okay, -- db path, and here I should give the complete path. Okay, so in my case, what I have done, 2 folder up, because currently I am in bin. Okay, so I'll come outside my MongoDB folder, and here I have created one database MongoDB folder. Okay, so database MongoDB, then DB. Okay, so let us hit enter and see what happens. Okay, it is telling me the DB exception, database MongoDB not found. Okay, so DB directory is not yet created, so let us go ahead and create it. Okay, now let's try again the same thing and see what happens. So MongoDB DB path and the complete path. Okay, hit enter. The MongoDB is up. Okay, you can come up and see all the logs, everything. Okay, so MongoDB is up and running, and here in the DB directory, let us go inside and see. It has created whatever database related files it needs. All right, so I'll just show you the Windows installer. Okay, if you are using Windows machine or any other operating system you are using, you can see in the drop down many operating systems are available. So for Windows machine this, and by default it will give you MSI package and zip. So you can go ahead with zip, download, and in the similar manner you can bring up the MongoDB at your machine. All right, so now let us see how can we download and install MongoDB Compass. Okay, MongoDB Compass download. We'll hit the first link, MongoDB Compass download GUI. So what is MongoDB Compass? It is the GUI or management dashboard for Mongo database. Okay, so MongoDB Compass download GUI will come down. Okay, so at the time of recording, stable version is 1.45.2. So we'll take that only. My machine is Mac operating system. Whichever machine you are using, it is giving you the installers and zip folders for that. Okay, so in my case, I will choose MongoDB and package as DMG. Okay, I will say download. It has downloaded this DMG package for MongoDB Compass at my machine. Okay, I'll just open, and you can see this DMG file is here. Fine. Now I will just double click, and I will just say MongoDB Compass from here to application. Okay, I'm getting an error currently because MongoDB Compass is already existing at my machine. So it's asking me whether I want to keep both or replace, or what action I would want. So I would like to stop this because I have already installed. I don't want to reinstall it. But this is how, it's so simple. This is how you can install it at your Mac operating system. All right. Now, if you are using Windows machine, what you can see, you can have Windows installer, that is MSI or zip. If you would like to have zip, download. Okay, it's getting downloaded, and here in the similar way, if I will execute MSI or Windows installer at my machine right now, it won't work. You can just double click and follow the instruction and install MongoDB Compass at your Windows machine. You just need to follow the instructions, nothing much. All right, so next step, let us open MongoDB Compass and see. So I have opened MongoDB Compass now, and let us try connecting it with the Mongo database which we have just bring up. By default, MongoDB uses the port 27017. Okay, let us try establishing the connection from MongoDB Compass to MongoDB default port. Okay, so for that I will just say add new connection. In that, by default, you can see it is showing the URI MongoDB //localhost 27017. So if you are using the same port, that means the default port, you need not to do any other change. You can just connect. Okay. So I will just say connected. And you can see here localhost 27017 and it is connected. I will double click on this and I am able to see the default databases. And this GUI dashboard is very powerful. It will give you the option to create database from here itself. Okay, so let us try creating one database here. I will just say testdb. Okay, so database name we have given as testdb, and next is the collection names. So in MongoDB, table is called as collection actually. So here in the collection name, you can give any table name or whichever you would like to create. So let's say I will just say test table 1. Okay, and we'll go ahead and say create database. All right. So you can see as soon as I said create database, it has created testdb database and inside that test table 1 collection. And herein you can now see a lot of options are coming. You can add data directly from here. Okay. You can import data also. If you have already MongoDB collection existing with you, you can directly import that collection here. Okay. Then you can update, delete and export data also from here. Or if you are doing any changes or anything from the application, you can just refresh and see. So let us just try adding one data. Okay. And here also you are getting see import JSON or CSV file. So this is how you can import the entire collection here directly. Okay. So I will just say insert document. Okay. And here, let's say I will say name, simple data we will add. Okay. And name 1. It's a JSON file, so I will just make it key value pair separated by comma. Description. Okay. And in the description 1. All right. So it's giving me some error because I forgot to put a comma here. All right. So now my document is fine. So in MongoDB, rows are document. So this is just one row of data. I will say insert. And you can see the data is inserted here in my test table 1. Similarly, you can insert more data, update, delete directly from here. All right. So this is just the GUI management dashboard. You can see default indexes is also created on the _ID field. Okay, fine. So now the next step, which is mainly related to our project, that is connect this MongoDB Compass with our project. So if you have missed watching the project which we are building using Spring Boot and MongoDB, so go ahead, watch that because we are building a complete project in that video. So that session will have more subsequent sessions wherein we will be expanding that project. All right. So let me quickly open and bring up the application and then I will show you how to connect the application with that. All right. So here is the bookstore application which we are building and further we will be expanding this application. So this application I will just quickly bring up. Okay. So this is the REST API application wherein till now we have implemented all 4 CRUD operations along with getAll, and those operations are using database as MongoDB. Okay. So what we have done here is we are using MongoDB database using Docker container. All right. So you can see MongoDB client is up and running and we'll go little up. You can see container is created and is in healthy state. Okay, I will also show you the Docker Compose file. And here in Docker Compose file, you can see the MongoDB details are mentioned. Okay, so what we are doing, when my application will come up, it will look for MongoDB latest image from Docker. So for that, your Docker should also be up and running. Okay. So I will show you my Docker dashboard. So here is my Docker dashboard. Okay. And you can see bookstore application, which we have just now bring up, and here in MongoDB 1, and herein you can see the logs and some related stats information in the Docker. So my Mongo database is up and running here in the Docker container. Okay. And with that, this application is getting connected. Okay. See. And herein you can see MongoDB client details are mentioned. All right. See. Okay. So now in compose.yaml, what we have done, MongoDB image is taken as MongoDB latest. Environment, MongoDB init database is given as my database. Password is mentioned here and username is mentioned here. Okay. And another important thing is ports. Okay. So what we have done, this is the MongoDB default port, which we have just now seen when we brought up MongoDB application at our local machine. Okay. And you can see one more port is mentioned here, that is 27020. So what we are doing here, we are doing a port mapping here. Why? Because this is the default port for MongoDB latest image, which is used in the Docker container internally. But with the internal port, you cannot directly connect or interact. Okay. So for that, there is a port mapping concept. Okay. And what do we do in port mapping? It is a process for exposing an internal port of Docker to a host machine, with the help of which applications can connect and interact with Docker. All right. So this is what we have done here. So for connecting from MongoDB Compass to my application, we will be using this port, because this port is designated and mapped to the default port of MongoDB, which is up and running in the Docker container. So let me open MongoDB Compass again. So here is a MongoDB Compass and this is a local connection. So now we will create one more connection, and that connection we will be creating with our applications MongoDB. That means the MongoDB which is running as a Docker container. So I will just hit on the plus sign here for adding a new connection. Okay. And here I can give any name to the connection if I want. Okay. So let me say Spring Boot MongoDB Bookstore. App. Okay. If you want to give any specific color, up to you. Let me give it as yellow, or yellow is already there. Let me give it as green. Okay. So advanced connection options. Herein to the host, which is default map to 27017, I will change this port to 27020. Okay. Let us come back to the application compose.yaml 27020. Okay. 27020. All right. And then I will come to authentication, because in our compose.yaml, database name, password and root, username, it is given, right? So here we are supposed to give those details in MongoDB connection, MongoDB Compass connection. Okay. So username is root, password is given in our compose.yaml file. Okay. And let us save and connect. Fine. So you can see my Spring Boot MongoDB Bookstore app is connected, and along with admin config local databases, which comes by default, as we have seen, there is one more database which is my database, and here in compose.yml you can see my database is given. All right. So here my database is given, and in that you can see one table book is already there, because in our last session we have created this entity, and or in MongoDB term we have created this collection and we have filled in some data here. All that filled data is shown here. Now here in aggregations you can come and see detailing. Indexes, you can see by default it is creating. Okay, so I would highly recommend you go ahead, watch the session, because going forward we will be expanding that project. Okay, also I would like to tell you that I have created a Git repository for this project on this GitHub. So on the GitHub you can check Think Constructive repositories, and therein you can find out this project, whatever we have done till now. Right, so here you can see the complete source code of this project is available, whatever we have done till now, and we will be further expanding this project, and then I will be further adding the project code here itself. So I have written the GitHub link in the project session, and here in this session's description also I have captured this link. So go ahead and make use of this project link. So wherever you find any difficulties or anything, you can go back and check the project code from here itself. All right. I hope you are able to connect your MongoDB Compass with the MongoDB Docker container image, which is running for your project. If you have any other questions, ask your doubts in the comment section below. Support the channel by liking, subscribing, and share the channel details with your friends, family, and colleagues, because that's how we will grow more stronger together. See you once again. Bye for now.